Hello, professional developers. I wanted to introduce the topic of letters of recommendation. As you probably are aware, we have an activity or assignment that will be due on December 4th related to requesting letters of recommendation. So we're doing this quick video to introduce you to that process and kind of guide you through the steps. So the first thing is to determine who are you going to ask for recommendations for graduate school. And typically most programs require 3 letters, and the rule of thumb is to secure, say, 2 professionals who can speak to your academic skills, background, aptitudes. And then the third would be, say, a principal investigator for research you may have done, or an internship or a work supervisor who can talk more to your experiences learning outside of the classroom. Most graduate programs are asking that your letter writers focus on kind of a combination of characteristics and skills. And of course, I would also throw in there experiences. So we want to always back up. If we say that student X has high academic achievement, we want to always back that up with an example to illustrate, okay, how has the student demonstrated a high level of academic achievement? Or how have they made sound decisions related to their academic obligations and career? And also kind of looking at how the student is set apart. So a lot of the characteristics and skills that you see on here can help to demonstrate that. And speaking of set apart, so what do letter writers want and not want to write about you? So we've got a number of things listed here, kind of from best to worst, as to what are some really powerful approaches to the letter and what are some things that we definitely don't want a letter writer saying. So things like, we talked about this already, high level of engagement in the course, critical thinker, utilizing office hours, initiating conversations outside of class about the course content, being highly inquisitive, having a growth mindset. And I like these truly set apart statements where the professor might say, one of the top students I've taught in my 20 years of teaching, or really validates why I chose this profession. So you want to be thinking about this because you want to do your best to provide your letter writers as much information as possible about who you are, what you've accomplished, where you're going, and why. So we have here what I would call the important 4 elements. So you want to provide your resume or CV, a spreadsheet of programs you're applying to that includes deadlines, program links, who the letter should be addressed to, and how each program aligns with your career or vocational goals. Personal statement, we gave you this writing guide early in the course. Later, you'll be drafting a personal statement that you'll be able to apply to this requesting letters of recommendation activity. Emailing, an email defining your relationship to the letter writer. That might sound really silly, but the reality is that you want to reacquaint your letter writer with how they know you. So, let's say I've already secured a professor to write a letter for me, I'm now going to follow up with those elements or documents or supplemental materials, as we're calling them, to help them to draft a very distinct rec letter that's going to speak to how I am distinct, how I am set apart as a candidate for that graduate program. We're giving you some steps here as to how to do this. Now, this is important for our letter requesting letters of rec assignment. This is basically what you're going to be doing for that assignment. You're going to be putting together an email, a draft email to a potential letter writer looking at these different topics that you see here. And if you actually read this, you'll notice that, yeah, it's long, it's got a lot of information, but it's going to help your letter writer really speak again to your distinctiveness and what you specifically bring to that graduate program, how you will impact it, and how you will contribute to it as well. We're giving you some examples of letters of rec two letters that I have written for students that have allowed me to use these. And you see that these are very highly specific. I would say they speak directly to how the student is set apart, and they cover all of the bases. They cover both the academic, the inside the class, the outside of class, and again, they are highly distinctive. So that is the process of requesting letters of recommendation. Please follow up with me if you have any comments or questions. Again, this is something we'll come back to, refer back to when it gets closer to submitting the activity on letter writing. So thank you so much and take care.